special thanks, get it, because I'm gothic, to my GF, ew, not in that way, Raven, Bloody Tears 666, for helping me with the story and spelling. You rock. Justin, you're the love of my depressing life. You rock too. MCR rocks. Hi, my name is Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way, and I have long, ebony black hair. That's how I got my name. With purple streaks and red tips that reaches my mid-back, and icy blue eyes like limpid tears. And a lot of people tell me I look like Amy Lee. Author's note, if you don't know who she is, get the hell out of here. I'm not related to Gerard Way, but I wish I was because he's a major effing hottie. I'm a vampire, but my teeth are straight and white. I have pale white skin. I'm also a witch, and I go to magic school called Hogwarts in England, where I'm in the 7th year. I'm 17. I'm a goth, in case you couldn't tell, and I mostly wear black. I love Hot Topic, and I buy all my clothes from there. For example, today I was wearing a black corset with matching lace around it, and a black leather miniskirt, pink fishnets, and black combat boots. I was wearing black lipstick, white foundation, black eyeliner, and red eyeshadow. I was walking outside Hogwarts. It was snowing and raining, so there was no sun, which I was very happy about. A lot of preps stared at me. I put my middle finger at them. "Hey, Ebony," shouted a voice. I looked up. It was Draco Malfoy! "What's up, Draco?" I asked. "Nothing," he said shyly. But then I heard my friends call me and I had to go away. Author's note. Is it good? Please tell me, thanks. Chapter 2. Author's note. Thanks to Bloody Tears 666 for helping me with the chapter. By the way, preps, stop flaming my story, okay? The next day, I woke up in my bedroom. It was snowing and raining again. I opened the door of my coffin and drank some blood from a bottle I had. My coffin was I got out of my coffin and took off my giant MCR t-shirt, which I used for pajamas. I put on my friend Willow. Author's note. Raven, this is you. Woke up then and grinned at me. OMFG, I saw you talking to Draco Malfoy yesterday, she said excitedly. Yeah, so, I said, blushing. Do you like Draco? She asked as we went out of the Slytherin common room and into the Great Hall. No, I so friggin' don't, I shouted. Yeah, right, she exclaimed. Just then, Draco walked up to me. Hi, he said. Hi, I said flirtily. Guess what, he said. What? I asked. Well, Good Charlotte are having a concert in Hogsmeade, he told me. Oh my effing god, I screamed. I love GC. They are my favorite band besides MCR. Well, do you want to go with me? He asked. I gasped. Dun dun dun. There's no stop flamming the story, preps, okay? Otherwise, thanks to the gothic people for the good reviews. Thanks again, Raven. Oh yeah, by the way, I don't own this or the lyrics for Good Charlotte. On the night of the concert, I put on my I drank some human blood, so I was ready to go to the concert. I went outside. Draco was waiting there in front of his flying car. He was wearing and a little eyeliner. Author's note, a lot for cool boys wear it, okay? Hi, Draco, I said in a depressed voice. Hi, Ebony, he said back. We walked into his flying black Mercedes-Benz, the license plate said 666, and flew to the place with the concert. On the way, we listened excitedly to Good Charlotte and Marilyn Manson. We both smoked cigarettes and drank. When we got there, we both hopped out of the car. We went to the mosh pit at the front of the stage and jumped up and down as we listened to Good Charlotte. Don't own the lyrics to that song. Joel is so effing hot, I said to Draco, pointing to him as he sung, filling the club with his amazing voice. Suddenly, Draco looked sad. What's wrong? I asked as we moshed the music. Then I caught on. Hey, it's okay. I don't like him better than you, I said. Really? asked Draco sensitively, and he put his arm around me, all protective. Really, I said. Besides, I don't even know Joel, and he's going out with Hillary I effing hate that little witch, I said disgustedly, thinking of her ugly blonde face. The night went on really well, and I had a great time. So did Draco. After the concert, we drank some beer and asked Benji and Joel for their autographs and photos with them. We got GC concert tees. Draco and I crawled back into the Mercedes-Benz, but Draco didn't go back to Hogwarts. Instead, he drove the car into the Forbidden Forest. Chapter 4, author's note. I said stop flaming, okay? Ebony's name is Enobi, not Mary Sue, okay? Draco is so in love with her that he is acting different. They knew each other before, okay? Draco, I shouted. What the F do you think you're doing? Draco didn't answer, but he stopped the flying car and he walked out of it. I walked out of it too, curiously. What the effing hell? I asked angrily. Ebony, he asked. What? I snapped. Draco leaned in extra close and I looked into his gothic red eyes. He was wearing color contacts, which revealed so much depressing sorrow and evilness, and then suddenly I didn't feel mad anymore. And then suddenly, just as Draco kissed me passionately, Draco climbed on top of me and we started to make out keenly against a tree. He took off my top and I took off his clothes. I even took off my top. Then he put his thingy into my you-know-what, and we did it for the first time. Oh, I screamed. I was beginning to get... We started to kiss everywhere, and my pale body became all warm. And then... What the hell are you doing, you mother effers? It was Dumbledore! Author's note. Stop flaming. If you flam it means you're a prep or a poozer. The only reason Dumbledore swore is because he had a headache. Okay, and on top of that, he was mad at him for having P.S. I'm not updating him till I get 5 good reviews. Dumbledore made and Draco and I follow him, and he kept shouting at us angrily. You ludicrous fools, he shouted. I started to cry tears of blood down my pallid face. Draco comforted me. When we went back to the castle, Dumbledore took us to Professor Snape and Professor McGonagall. They were having sexual intercourse in the Forbidden Forest, he yelled in a furious voice. Why did you do such a thing, you mediocre dunces? Asked Professor McGonagall. How dare you, demanded Professor Snape. And then Draco shrieked. Because I love her! Everyone was quiet. Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall still looked mad, but Professor Snape said, Fine, very well, you may go up to your rooms. Draco and I went upstairs while the teachers glared at us. Are you okay, Ebony? Draco asked me gently. Yeah, I guess, I lied. I went to the girls' dorm and brushed my teeth and my hair and changed into a... When I came out, Draco was standing in front of the bathroom and he started to sing, I Just Want to Live by Good Charlotte. I was so flattered even though he wasn't supposed to be there. We hugged and kissed. After that, we said goodnight and he reluctantly went back into his room. Shut up, preps, okay? P.S. I wouldn't update until you give me good reviews. The next day, I woke up in my coffin. In the Great Hall, I ate some Count Chocula cereal with blood instead of milk, and a glass of red blood. Suddenly, someone bumped into me. All the blood spilled over my tongue. No, bastard, I shouted angrily. I regretted saying it when I looked up, because I was looking into the pale white face of a gothic boy with... He was so sexy that my body went all hot when I saw him, kind of like only I'm a girl, so I didn't get one, you sicko. I'm so sorry, he said in a shy voice. That's all right. What's your name? I questioned. My name's Harry Potter, although most people call me Vampire these days, he grumbled. Why? I exclaimed. Because I love the taste of human blood, he giggled. Well, I am a vampire, I confessed. Really? He whimpered. Yeah! I roared. We sat down to talk for a while. Then Draco came up behind me and told me he had a surprise for me, so I went away with him. Chapter 7, Bring Me to Life. Author's note. Well, okay, you guys, I'm only writing this because I got 5 God reviews. And by the way, I won't write the next chapter till I get 10 God bonds. Stop flaming or I'll report you. Ebony isn't a Mary Sue, okay? She isn't perfect. She's a Satan, and she has problems. She's depressed, for God's sake. Draco and I held our pale white hands with black nail polish as we went upstairs. I waved to Vampire. Dark misery was in his depressed eyes. I guess he was jealous of me that I was going out with Draco. Anyway, I went upstairs excitedly with Draco. We went into his room and locked the door. We started Frenching passively, and we took off each other's clothes enthusiastically. He felt me up before I took off my top, and we had sex! See, is that stupid? Oh, Draco, I screamed while getting and all of a sudden I saw a tattoo I had never seen before on Draco's arm. It was a black heart with an arrow through it. On it in bloody gothic writing were the words, Vampire! I was so angry. You bastard! I shouted angrily, jumping out of the bed. I put on my clothes all huffily and then stomped out. Draco ran out even though he was naked. He had a really big you-know-what, but I was too mad to care. I stomped out and did so until I was in Vampire's classroom, where he was having a lesson with Professor Snape and some other people. Vampire Potter, you mother effer. Chapter 8. Stop flashing, okay? If you do, then you're a prep. Everyone in the class stared at me, and then Draco came into the room even though he was naked and started begging to take it back. Ebony, it's not what you think, Draco screamed sadly. My friend Bloody Mary Smith smiled at me understatedly. Hermione was kidnapped when she was born. Her real parents are vampires, and one of them is a witch, but Voldemort killed her mother and her father because he was depressed about it. She still has nightmares about it, and she is very haunted and depressed. It turns out her real last name is Smith, not Granger. Since she has converted to Satanism, she's in Slytherin now, not Gryffindor. What is it that you desire, you ridiculous dimwit? Snape demeaned angrily in his cold voice, but I ignored him. Vampire, I can't believe you cheated on me with Draco, I shouted at him. It should be the other way around. Everyone gasped. I don't know why Ebony was so mad at me. I went out with Vampire. I'm bi and so is Ebony. For a while, but then he broke my heart. He dumped me because he liked Brittany. We're just good friends now. He had gone through horrible problems and now he was gone. Haha, like I would hang out with a prep. But I'm not going out with Draco anymore, said Vampire. Yeah, effing right. F off, you bastard, I screamed. I ran out of the room and into the Forbidden Forest, where I had lost my virility to Draco, and then I started to bust into tears. Chapter 9. Stop flaming, okay? I don't read all the books. This is from the movie, okay? So it's not my fault if Dumbledore swears. Besides, I said he had a headache! And the reason Snap doesn't like Harry now is because he's Christian. I was so mad and sad I couldn't believe Draco for cheating on me. I began to cry against the tree where I did it with Draco. Then, all of a suddenly, an horrible man with red eyes and no nose and everything started flying towards me on a broomstick. He didn't have a nose and he was wearing all black, but it was obvious he wasn't gothic. It was Voldemort! No, I shouted in a scared voice, but then Voldemort shouted, Imperious, and I couldn't run away. Crookshanks, I shouted at him. Voldemort fell out of his room and started to scream. I felt bad for him, even though I'm a sadist, so I stopped. Ebony, he yelled, thou must kill Vampire Potter. I remember that Draco had said I didn't understand, so I thought, what if Draco went out with Vampire before I went out with him? And they broke up! No, Voldemort, I shouted back. Voldemort gave me a gun. No, please, I begged. Thou must, he yelled. If thou dost not, then I shall kill thy beloved Draco. Oh, I am not reading that author's note. I was really scared about Voldemort all day. I was even upset, went to rehearsals with my gothic metal band Bloody Gothic Rose 666. I am the leader of it and I play guitar. People say that we sound like a cross between GC, Slipknot, and MCR. The other people in the band are Bloody Mary, Vampire Draco, Ron, although we call him Diablo now. He has black hair now with blue streaks in it, and Hargrid. Only today Draco and Vampire were depressed, so they weren't coming. They wrote songs instead. I knew Draco was probably his wrists. He wouldn't die because he was a vampire too, and the only way to kill a vampire is with a CROSS. There's no way I'm writing that. Or a stake. And a vampire was probably watching a depressing movie like The Corpse Bride. We were singing a cover of Helena, and at the end of the song, I suddenly bust into tears. Ebony, are you okay? Bloody Mary asked in a concerted voice. What the F do you think? I asked angrily, and then I said, well, Voldemort came and the effing bastard told me to effing kill Harry, but I don't want to kill him because he's really nice, even if he did go out with Draco, but if I don't kill Harry, then Voldemort will effing kill Draco! I burst into tears. Suddenly Draco jumped out from behind a wall. Why didn't you effing tell me? He shouted. How could you effing poser muggle bitch! See, is that out of character? I started to cry and cry. Draco started to cry too, all sensitive. Then he ran out crying. He practiced for 1 more hour, then suddenly Dumbledore walked in angrily. His eyes were all fiery, and I knew this time it wasn't because he had a headache. What have you done? He started to cry wisely. See, that's basically not swearing, and this time he was really upset. You will see why. Ebony, Draco has been found in his room. He committed by slitting his wrists. Chapter 11. Author's note, I said stop flaming, you preps. See, if this chapter is stupid, it deals with really serious issues. Especially you for yourself, it's stupid. Poor thanks, my friend Raven, for helping. No, I screamed. I was horrified. Bloody Mary tried to comfort me, but I told her F off, and I ran to my room crying myself. Dumbledore chased after me shouting, but he had to stop when I went into my room because he would look like a perv that way. While I put on a Linkin Park song at full volume, I grabbed a stake and almost stuck it into my heart to commit suicide. I was so effing depressed. I got out of the bathtub and put on a Sandly. I couldn't effing believe it. Then I looked out the window and screamed. Snap was spying on me, and he was taking a videotape of me, and Lupin was masturbating to it. They were sitting on their broomsticks. Ew, you effing perv, stop looking at me naked. Are you pedos or what? I screamed, putting on a black towel with a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. Suddenly, Vampire ran in. Abracadabra! He yelled at Snape and Lupin, pointing his wand. I took my gun and shot Snape and Lupin a gazillion times.
Freak club, bitch.
And they started screaming, and the camera broke. Suddenly, Dumbledore ran in. Ebony, it has been revealed someone has... No! He shouted, looking at Snape and Lupin, and then he waved his wand, and suddenly, Hargrid ran outside on his broom and said, everyone, we need to talk. What do you know, Hargrid? You are just a little Hogwarts student. I may be a Hogwarts student. Hargrid paused angrily, but I am also a Satanist. This cannot be, Snap said in a crisp voice as blood dripped from his hand where Dumbledore's wand had shot him. There must be other factors. You don't have any, I yelled in madly. Lupin held up the camera triumphantly. The lens may be ruined, but the tape is still there. I felt faint, more than I normally do, like how it feels when you do not drink enough blood. Why are you doing this? Lupin said angrily while he rubbed his dirty hands on his cloak, and then I heard the words that I had heard before, but not from him. I did not know whether to feel shocked or happy or to bite him and drink his blood because I felt faint. Because, Hagrid said, and he paused in the air dramatically, waving his wand in the air, then swooped in, singing to the tune of a gothic version of a song by 50 Cent. Because you're gothic? Snap asked in a little afraid voice because he was afraid it meant he was connected with Satan. Because I love her. Author's note, stop okay, Hargrid is a too. A lot of people in American schools are like that. I wanted to address the issue. How do you know, Snap? Christian plus Hargrid isn't really in love with Ebony. That was Cedric, okay? I was about to slit my wrists again with the silver knife that Drago had given me in case anything happened to him. He had told me to use it valiantly against an enemy, but I knew that we must go together. I was in the school's nurse's office now, recovering from my wrists. Snape and Lupin and Hagrid were there too. They were going to St. Mango's after they recovered because they were and you can't have those effing perps teaching in a school with lots of hot girls. Dumbledore had constipated the city. They took of me naked. I put my middle finger up at them. Anyway, Hagrid came into my hospital bed holding a bouquet of pink roses. Nobby, I need to tell you something, he said in a serious voice, giving me the roses. F off, I told him. You know I effing hate the color pink anyway, and I don't like effed up preps like you. I snapped. Hagrid had been mean to me before for being gothic. No, Anobi, Hagrid says. Those are not roses. What? Are they goths too, you poser prep? I asked because I was angry that he had brought me pink roses. Pointed his wand at the pink roses. Those aren't roses. He suddenly looked at them with an evil look in his eye and muttered, well, if you wanted honesty, that's all you'd had to say. That's not a spell. That's an MCR song, I corrected him wisely. I know, I was just warming up my vocal cords. Then he screamed, Peticulus Marengo me romanzo, for all you cool gothic MCR fans out there, that is a tribute, especially for Raven. I love you, girl. I'm Onato Okeo. And then the roses turned into a huge black flame floating in the middle of the air, and it was black. Now I knew he was into prep. Okay, I believe you. Now, WTF is Draco. Hagrid rolled his eyes. I looked into the balls of flame, but I could see nothing. You see, Nobby, Dumbledore said, watching the two of us watching the flame. To see what's in the flames, haha, you reviewers flames, get it? You must find yourself first, okay? I have found myself, okay, you mean old man, Hagrid yelled. Dumbledore looked shocked. I guess he didn't have a headache or else he would have said something back. Hagrid stormed off back into his bed. You are a liar, Prof. Dumbledore. Anyway, when I got better, I went upstairs and put on a... If you don't know who she is, you're a prep, so F off. You look kawaii, girl, Bloody Mary said sadly. Thanks, get it? You do too, I said sadly too. I was still upset. I split both my wrists, feeling totally depressed, and I sucked all the blood. I cried again in my bathroom and put the shades on so Snap and Lupin couldn't spy on me this time. I went to some classes. Vampire was in the hair of magic creatures. He looked all depressed because Draco had disappeared and he had used to be in love with Draco. He was sucking some blood from a Hufflepuff. Hi, he said in a depressed way. Hi back, I said in an equally said way. We both looked at each other for some time. Harry had beautiful red gothic eyes, so much like Draco's. Then we jumped on each other and started screwing each other. Stop it now, you horny simpleton, shouted Professor McGoggle, who was watching us, and so was everyone else. Vampire, you effer, I said, slapping him. Stop trying to screw me. You know I love Draco, I shouted. And then I ran away angrily. He started to scream, OMFG, no, my scar hurts. And then his eyes rolled up. You could only see his red whites. I stopped. How did you know? I saw it and my scar turned back into the lightning bolt. No, I ran up closer. I thought you didn't have a scar anymore, I shouted. I do, but Diablo changed it into a pentagram for me. And I always cover it up with foundation, he said back. Anyway, my scar hurt and it turned back into the lightning bolt. Save me. And then I had a vision of what was happening to Draco. Voldemort has him in bondage. Special thanks to Raven, my Gothic's blood sister. What the F, you're supposed to write this. Hey Raven, do you know where my sweater I? Chapter 13. Author's note. Raven, thanks for helping me again. I'm sorry I talk your poster of Gerard, but that guy is such a fucking sex bomb. Prep, stop flaming. Vampire and I ran up the stairs looking for Dumbledore. We were so scared. Dumbledore, Dumbledore, we both yelled. What is it that you want now, you despicable snobs? He asked angrily. Voldemort has Draco, we shouted at the same time. He laughed in an evil voice. No, don't! We need to save Draco, we begged. No, he said meanly. I don't give a darn what Voldemort does to Draco, not after how much he misbehaved in school, especially with you, Ebony, he said while he frowned looking at me. Besides, I never liked him that much anyway. Then he walked away. Vampire started crying. It's okay, I tried to tell him, but that didn't stop him. He started to cry tears of blood. Then he had a brainstorm. I had an idea, he exclaimed. What? I asked him. You'll see, he said. He took out his wand and did a spell. Then suddenly we were in Voldemort's lair. We ran in with our wands out just as we heard a croon voice say, Alakadabra! It was Voldemort! Chapter 14, author's note. F off preps, okay? Raven, thanks for helping again. I'm sorry, couldn't update, but I was depressed. Yes, I'm not updating till you give me 10 God revows. Warning, some of this chapter is extremely scray. Vower excretion advice. We ran to where Voldemort was. It turned out that Voldemort wasn't there. Instead, the fat guy who killed Cedric was. Draco was there crying tears of blood. Snaketail was torturing him. Vampire and I ran in front of Snaketail. Rid my sight, you despicable preps, he shouted as we started shooting him with the gun. He looked at me and he fell down with a lovely dovey look in his eyes. Dot, he said. In this, he is 16 years old. He's not a baby. No! He screamed. He started screaming and running around. Then he fell down and died. I burst into tears sadly. Snaketail, what art thou doing? Called Voldemort. Then he started coming. We could hear his high heels clacking to us. So we got on our broomsticks and we flew to Hogwarts. We went to my room. Vampire went away. There, I started crying. What's wrong, honey? Asked Draco, taking off his clothes. He had a sex pack, get it? Cause he is so sexy. And a really huge you-know-what and everything. It's so unfair, I yielded. Why can't I just be ugly or plain like all the other girls in preps here except for Bloody Mary? Because she's not ugly or anything. Why would you want to be ugly? I don't like the preps anyway. They are such effing sluts, answered Draco. Yeah, but everyone is in love with me. Like Snape and Lupin took a video of me naked. Hagrid says he's in love with me. Vampire likes me. And now even Snaketail is in love with me. I just want to be with you, okay, Draco? Why couldn't Satan have made me less beautiful? I shouted angrily. Author's note, don't worry, Anabi isn't a snob or anything, but a lot of people have told her she's pretty. I'm good at too many things. Why can't I just be normal? It's an effing curse, I shouted, and then I ran away. Author's note, still flaming, okay? By the way, you suck from no on every time someone flams me. I'm gonna set my wrists. Thanks to Raven for helping. Ebony, shouted Draco sadly. No, please come back. But I was too mad. Whatever, now you can go and have sex with Vampire, I shouted.
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that
I stormed into my room and closed my black door with my blood-red key. It had a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. He looked so sexy in a way that reminded me of Draco and Vampire. I started to cry and weep. I drank the blood, all depressed. Then I looked at my black GC watch and noticed it was time to go to biology class. I put on a Anyway, I went downstairs feeling all sad and depressed as usual. I did some advanced biology work. I was turning a bloody pentagram into a black guitar. Suddenly, the guitar turned into Draco. Anabi, I love you, he shouted sadly. I don't care what those effer preps and posers think. You're the most beautiful girl in the world. Before I met you, I used to want to commit suicide all the time. Now I just want to effing be with you. I effing love you. Then he started to sing The Chronicles of Life and Death. We considered it our song because now we fell in love when Joel was singing it right in front of the entire class. His singing voice was so amazing and gothic and sexy, like a cross between Gerard, Joel, Chester, Pierre, and Marilyn Manson. Author's note, don't you think those guys are so hot? If you don't know who they are, get the F out of here. OMFG, I said after he was finished. Some effing preps stared at us. I just stuck my middle fingers that were covered in black nail polish and were intertwined with Draco's now at them. I love you, I said. Then we started to kiss just like Hilary Duff. I effing hate that bitch. And CMM in a Cinderella story. Then we went away holding hands. Lupin shouted at us, but he stopped because everyone was clapping by how sexy we looked together. Everyone clapped. Yay! Then I saw a poster saying that MCR would have a concert in Hogsmeade right then. We looked at each other all shocked and then we went together. Chapter 16, author's note. You know what? Shut up, okay? Prove to me you're not preps. Raven, you suck, you effing. Give me back my effing sweet. You're supposed to read this. Raven, what the F, you bitch. You're supposed to do this. By the way, thanks to Brittany5655 for touching my Japanese. What the F, Draco? I'm not going to a concert with you. I shouted angrily, not after what happened to me last time. Even if it's MCR and you know how much I like them. What? Cause we, you know, he gadgeted uncomfortably. Cause guys, don't you, what? Ugh. Yeah, cause we, you know, I yielded in an angry voice. We won't do that again, Draco promised. This time, we're going with an escort. OMFG, what the F? Are you giving me into the mainstream, I asked? So I guess you're a prep or Christina or what now? No, he muttered loudly. Are you becoming a prep or what? I shooted angrily. Anabi, I'm not. Please come with me. He fell down to his knees and started singing The World is Black by GC to me. I was flattened because that's not even a single. He had memorized the lyrics just for me. Okay, then I guess I will have to, I said. And then we Frenched for a while and I went to my room. Bloody Mary was standing there.
はじましてグール
She said happily, she speaks Japanese, so do I. That means how do you do in Japanese. By the way, Willow, that effing poser got expelled. She failed all her classes and then she skipped math. Author's note, Raven, you effing suck. F you. It serves that effing bitch right, I yelled angrily. Well, anyway, we were feeling all depressed. We watched some gothic movies like Das Nightmare Before Christmas. Maybe Willow will die too, I said. Kawaii, Bloody Mare shook her head energetically. Ugh. Oh yeah, have a confession. After she got expelled, I murdered her and then Lupin... Oh, why? I commented happily. We talked to each other in silence for the rest of the movie. Oh hey, by the way, I'm going to a concert with Draco tonight in Hogsmeade with MCR, I said. I need to wear, like, the hottest outfit ever. Bloody Mary nodded energetically. OMFG, totally, let's go shopping. In Hot Topic, right? I asked, already getting out my special Hot Topic loyalty card. No, my head snaped up. What? My head spun. I could not believe it. Bloody Mary, are you a prep? No, she laughed. I found some cool gothic stores near Hogwarts, that's all. Who told you about them? I asked. Sure, it would be Draco or Diablo or Vampire. Don't even say that name to me. Dumbledore, she said. Let me just call our Brahms. OMFFG Dumbledore? I asked quietly. Yeah, I saw the map for Hogsmeade on his desk, she told me. Come on, let's go. We were going for a few punk-off stores, especially for the concerts in Hogsmeade. The salesperson was OMG hotter than Gerard, except not cause that's impossible. And he gave me a few dresses. We only have these for the real goths. The real goths? Me and Bloody Mary asked. Yeah, you wouldn't believe how much posers there are in this town, man. Yesterday, Lupin and Snap tried to buy a gothic camera pouch. He shook his head. I didn't even know they had a camera. OMFG, no, they're gonna spy on me again, I cried, running out of the changing room wearing a... "Oh my Satan, you have to buy that outfit," the salesperson said. "Yeah, it looks totally hot," said Bloody Mary. "You know what? I'm gonna give it to you free, cause you look really hot in that outfit." "Hey, are you gonna be at the concert tonight?" he asked. "Yeah, I am actually. Hey, by the way, my name's Ebony Darkness Dementia Tearaway. What's yours?" "There's Tom Ridd," he said, and ran a hand through his black dyed hair. "Maybe I'll see you there tonight." "Yeah, I don't think so, cause I'm going there with my BF Draco, you sick perv," I yelled angrily, but before he could beg me to go with him, Hagrid flew in on his black broom looking worried. "OMFG Abondi, you need get back into the castle now." Author's note, I said stop filming the stereo. If you're a prep, then not read it. You can tell whether you're a prep or not, cause by my quiz, it's on my homepage. If you're not, then you rock. If you are, then fuck off. P.S. Willow isn't really a prep. Raven, please do this. I'll promise to give you back your poster. Tom Riddle gave us some clothes and stuff for free. He said he would help us with makeup if he wanted, because he was really into fashion stuff. He's bisexual. Hagrid kept shooting at us to come back to Hogwarts. "What the F, Hagrid?" I shouted angrily. "F off, you effing bastard." Well, anyway, Willow came. Hagrid went away angrily. "Hey, Bish, you look kawaii," she said. "Yeah, but not as kawaii as you," I answered sadly, because Willow's really pretty and everything. She had a really nice body with big bobs and everything. "So are you going to the concert with Draco?" she asked. "Yeah," I said happily. "I'm going with Diablo," she answered happily. Well, anyway, Draco and Diablo came. They both were looking extremely hot and sexy, and you could tell they thought we were hot too. Diablo was wearing a Draco was wearing Bloody Mart was going to the concert with Dracola. Dracola used to be called Navel, but it turned out that he was kidnapped at birth, and his real family were vampires. They died in a car crash. Navel converted to Satanism and he went goth. He was in Slytherin now. He was wearing a black t-shirt, black jeans, and shoes, and black hair with red streaks, and they call him Dracula now. Well, anyway, we all went to Draco's black Mercedes-Benz, get it? Cause we're gothic. That his dad Lucian gave him. We did pot, coke, and crack. Draco and I made out. We made fun of those stupid effing preps. We soon got there. I gasped. Gerard was the sexiest guy ever. He looked even sexier than he did in pics. He had long raven black hair and piercing blue eyes. He was really skinny and he had an amazing... We moshed to Helena and some other songs. Suddenly, Gerard pulled off his mask. So did the other members. We gasped. It wasn't them at all. It was Baltimore and the Death Dealers. You moronic idiots, he shooted angstily. Inabi, I told you to kill vampire. Thou have failed, and now I shall kill thou and Draco. No, no, please, we begged sadly, but he took out his knife. Suddenly, a gothic old man flew in on his broomstick. He had long black hair and a long blonde beard. He was wearing a black robe that said Halloween on the back. He shouted a spell, and Voldemort ran away. It was Dumbledore! Chapter 18. Author's note. I said stop flamming. If you do, then you're a effing prep. Thanks to Raven for the help and stuff. You rock. And you're not a prep. Thanks for my swooter. P.S. The odor Eason Dumbledore swore is cause he trying to be gothic. So there. I woke up the next day in my coffin. I walked out of it and put on some... The night before, Draco and I went back to the skull. Get it? Skull, because I'm gothic and I like death. Dumbledore chased Voldemort away. We flew there on our brooms. Mine was black and the broomstick was blood red. There was lace all over it. Draco had a black MCR. Boom. We went back to our rooms and we had, you know what, to a Linkin Park song. Well, anyway, I went down to the Great Hall. There, all the walls were painted black and the tables were black too. But you could see that there was pink pant underneath the black pant. And there were pastors of poser bands everywhere, like Ashley Simpson and the Backstreet Boys. What the F? I shouted, going to sit next to Bloody Mary and Willow. Vampire Dracula and Draco came. We all started to talk about who was sexier, Mikey or Gerard Way or Billy Joe Armstrong. The boys joined in because they were bi. Those guys are so effing hot, Navel was saying, as suddenly a gothic old man with a black beard and everything came. He was the same one who had chased away Voldemort yesterday. He had normal tan skin, but he was wearing white foundation and he had dyed his hair black. black. Dumbledore, we all gasped. What the F? I shouted angrily. I thought he was just wearing that to scare Voldemort. Hello, everyone, he said happily. As you can see, I gave the room a makeover. What do you think about it? Everyone from the poser table in Gryffindor started to cheer. We couldn't believe what a poser he was. By the way, you can call me Albert. He called as we left to our classes. What a effing poser, Draco shouted angrily as we went to transformation. We were holding hands. Vampire looked really jealous. I could see him crying blood in a gothic way. Get it? Way, like Gerard. But I didn't say anything. I bet he's having a midlife crisis, Willow shouted. I was so effing angry. Chapter 19. I'm not okay, I promise. Author's note, please stop flaming the story. If you do, you're a fucking prep and you're jealous, okay? From knock on, I'm going to doubt your, All day we sat angrily thinking about Dumbledore. We were so effing pissed off. Well, I had one thing to look forward to, the MCR concert. It had been postponed, so we could all go. Anyway, I went to the common room sadly to cut classes. Draco was being all secretive. I asked what it was and he got all mad at me and started crying all hot and angsty. Rick, sensitive bi guy is so hot. No one effing understands me, he shouted angrily as his black hair went in his big blue eyes like Billy Joe in Boulevard of Brocken Dreams. Accuse me? What about me? I growled. But, he grunted. You effing bastard, I moaned. No, wait, it's not what it effing looks like, he shouted. But it was too late. I knew what I heard. I ran to the bathroom angrily, crying. Draco banged on the door. I whipped and wept as my bloody eyeliner streamed down my cheeks and made cool tears down my... like Benji in the video for girls and boys. Raven, that is so our video. I took out a cigarette and started to smoke pot. Suddenly, Hargrid came. He had appeared. You gave me an effing shock, I shouted angrily, dropping my pot. What the F do you think you're doing in the girl's room? Only it wasn't Hargrid. Someone else was with him too. For a second I wanted it to be Tom Ridd or maybe Draco, but it was Dumbledore. Hey, I need to ask you a question, he said, pulling out his black wannabe gothic purse. What are you wearing to the concert? You know who MCR are? I gasped. No, I just saw there was a concert that a lot of goths and pooks were going to, he said. Anyway, Draco has a surprise for you. Chapter 20. Author's note. I said I don't care what you think. Stop spamming me, preps. I thanks to Raven for the help. Oh yeah, by the way, I'll be on vacation in Transylvania for the next 3 days, so don't expect update. All day I wondered what the surprise was. Meanwhile, I put on a... MCR, we're going to the concert again, since Voldemort had taken over the last one. I set my wrist while I moshed to MCR in the bedroom all night, feeling excited. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door while I was trying on some black clothes and moshing to Fang You for the Venom. I got all mad and turned it off, but sacredly, I hopped inside that it was Draco, so we could do it again. What the effing hell are you doing? I shouted angrily. It was Lupin! Are you gonna... I was allowed to say that because Dumbledore had told us to be careful around him and snap because he was a pedo. No, actually, get it? Hell. Can I please borrow some... Oh, yes, you can F your... Oh! Well, anyway, I put on some... Then I went. Then I gasped. Snake and Lupin were in the middle of the empty hall doing... And Dobby was watching! Oh my god, you ludicrous idiot! They both shooted angrily when they saw me. Dobby ran away crying. They got up though. Normally I would have... But both of them were effing preps. By the way, Snake is moved to Gryffindor now. What the F? Is that why you wanted condoms? I asked it sadistically. See, I spelt that. Only you wouldn't give them to me, Lupin shouted angrily. Well, you should have told me, I replied. You dimwit, Snake began to shoot angrily, and then I took out my black camera and took a pic of them. You could see that they were naked and everything. Well, excuse me, they both shouted angrily. What was that all about? It was to blackmail you, I snarked. So now next time you see me doing it with my boyfriend, you can't effing rat me or I'll show this to Dumbledore. So F off, you bastards. I started to run. They chased me, but I threw my wound at them and they tripped over it. Well, anyway, I went outside and there was Vampire looking extremely effing hot. WTF, where'd Draco? I asked him. Oh, he's being a effing bastard. He told me he wouldn't come, Vampire said, shaking his head. You want to come with me to the concert? Then he showed me his flying car. It was a black car. He said his godfather, Sirius Black, had given it to him. The license plate on the front said MCR 666 on it, and the one on the back said Inabi on it. I gasped. We flew to the concert hall. MCR were there playing. Vampire and I began to make out, moshing to the music. I gasped looking at the band. Gerard was so effing hot. He began to sing Helena, and his sexy, beautiful voice began to fill the hall, and then I heard some crying. I turned and saw Draco crying in a corner. Chapter 21. Author's note. F you, okay? You fucking suck. It's not my fault if it's spelled wrong, okay? Cause that vish bravern, cause it fuck you prips. Whoops, says Raven. Thanks for the help. By the way, Transylvania rocks hard. I even got to go to the castle where the Dracula was filmed. Later, we all went in the school. Draco was crying in the common room. Draco, are you okay? I asked in the gothic voice. No, I'm not, you effing bitch, he shouted angrily. He started to run out of the place and his away. I started to cry because I was afraid he would commit suicide. It's okay, Inabi, said Vampire comfortably. I'll make him feel better. You mean you'll go F him, won't you? I shouted angrily.
Oh, that's no. In the sense that, no. You know what I mean?
Then I ran to get Draco. Vampire came too. Draco, please come! He began to cry. Tears of blood came down his pale face. I was so turned on because I love sensitive bi guys, if you're a homophobe. And then we heard some footsteps. Vampire got out his black invincibility coke. We both got under it. We saw the janitor, Mr. Norris, there, shouting angrily with a flashlight in his hand. Who's there? He shouted angrily. We saw Filth come. He went under the invisibility cloak and started to meow loudly. Is anyone there? Yelled Mr. Norris. No, F you, you preppy little poser son of a effing bish, Vampire said under his breath in a disgusted way. Excuse me? Excuse me? Who said that? Yelled Mr. Norris. Then he heard Phil meow. Filth, is there anyone under the cloak? He asked. Filth nodded. And then Vampire Frenched me. He did it just as Mr. Norris was taking off the cloak. What the? He yelled, but it was too late because now we were running away from him. And then we saw Draco behind, crying and bursting into tears and sticking his wrists outside of the school. Draco, I cried. Are you okay? I guess, though, Draco wept. We went back to our coffins Frenching each other. Draco and I decided to watch Lake Placid, see, isn't that depressing, on the gothic red bed together. As I was about to put in the video, my eyes rolled up and suddenly I had a vision of something that was happening now. There was a knock on the door and Fug and the Mystery of Magic rocked into the school. Chapter 22, author's note. Shut the F off, prep. Stop flaming, okay? If you don't like it, F off. I know it's Mr. Norris. It's Raven's fault, okay? You suck. No, just kidding, Raven. You effing rock. Prep suck. All day, everyone talked about the misery of magic. Well, anyway, I woke up the next day. I was in my coffin, so I opened the door. I was wearing black lacy leather pajamas. Then I gasped. Standing in front of me were Bloody Mary, Vampire, Diablo, Draco, Dracula, and Willow. I opened my crimson eyes. Willow was wearing Darkness, who is Jenny? OMFG, I yielded as I jumped up. Why the F are you all here? Inabi said something is really effed up, Draco said. Okay, but I need to put my effing clothes on first, I shouted angrily. It's alright, we have to go now, and you look kawaii anyway. You're so effing beautiful, Draco said in a sexy voice. Oh, alright, I said smiling, but you have to tell me why you're being all erective? I will, he said. A effing prep called Brittany from Gryffindor was standing next to us. She was wearing a mini and a Harry Duck t-shirt. So we all put up our middle fingers. Inside the Great Hall, we could see Dumbledore. Cornelia Fudge was there shouting at Dumbledore. Doris Rumbridge was there too. This cannot be, she shouted angrily. The school must be closed. The Bark Lord is planning to kill the students, yelled Cornelia Fudge. You are not fit to be the principal any longer, yelled Rumbridge. You are too old and your Alzheimer's is dangerous. You must retry or Voldemort will kill your students. Very well, Dumbledore said angrily, but we cannot do this. We cannot close the school. There is only one person who's capable of killing Voldemort, and she is in this school, and her name is Anai Darkness Dementia Raven Way. Draco, Crab, Goyle, Darkness, Willow, Vampire, and Bloody Mary all looked at each other. I gasped. Chapter 23, author's note. The F up, bitches. You're just jealous because I got 10,000 reviews. I thanks to Raven for the help and telling me about the books. Girl, rock, let's go shopping together. The door opened and Professor Rumbridge and Cornelia Fudge stomped out angrily. Then Dumb and Rumbridge sawed us. Mr. Way, what the bleep are you doing? Rumbridge shouted angrily. Dumbledore glared at her. Oops, she made a mistake, he corrupted her. She means, hi everybody, come in. Well, we all came in angrily, so did all the other students. I sat between Darkness and Draco and opposite Bloody Mary. Crab and Goyle started to make some morbid jokes. They looked exactly like Vilvolo. I ate some Count Chocula and drank some blood from a cup. Then I heard someone shooting angrily. I looked behind me. It was Vampire. He and Draco were shooting at each other. Vampire Draco, what the F? I asked. You effing bustard, yelled Draco at Vampire. I want to shit next to her. No, I do, shouted. No, she doesn't effing like you, you son of a bitch, yelled Draco. No, F you mother effer. She loves me, not you, shouted Vampire. And then he jumped on Draco. No, not in that way, you perv. They started to fight and beat up each other. Dumbledore yelled at them, but they didn't stop. All of a sudden, a terrible man with red eyes and no nose flew in on his broomstick. He had no nose and was wearing a gray robe. All the glass in the window he flew through fell apart. Brittany, that effing prep, started to cry. Vampire and Draco stopped fighting. I stopped eating. Everyone gasped. The room fell silent. Voldemort! Ebony! Ebony! Darth Vader said evilly in his raspy voice. Thou have failed your mission. Now I shall kill thou, and I shall kill Vampire as well. If thou dost not kill him before then, I shall kill Draco too. Please don't make me kill him, please, I begged. No, he laughed crudely. Kill him, or I shall kill him anyway. Then he flew away, cackling. I burst into tears. Draco and Vampire came to comfort me. Suddenly, my eyes rolled up so they looked all cool and gothic. I had a vision where I saw some lightning flash, and then Voldemort coming to kill Draco while Draco stabbed his wrist in a depressed way. No, I screamed sexily. Suddenly I looked up and stopped having the vision. Ebony, are you all right? Asked Draco in a worried voice. Yeah, I said sadly as I got up. Everything's all right, Anabi, said Vampire all sensitive. No, it's not, I shouted angrily. Tears of blood went down my face. OMFG, what if I'm getting possessed like in The Ring too? It's okay, girl, said Bloody Mary. Maybe you should ask Professor Sinister about what the visions mean, though. Okay, bish, I said sadly, and then we went. Konnichiwa, everybody. Come in, said Professor Sinister in Japanese. Her mom was a vampire. She's also half Japanese, so she speaks it and everything. She and Bloody Mary get along great. She's really young for a teacher. Today, she was wearing a... We went back inside the classroom with pastors of Emily the Strong. I raised my hand. I was wearing some... What is it, Ebony? She asked. Hey, I love your nail polish. Where'd you get it? Hot Topic? Yeah, I answered. All the preps who didn't know what HT was gave me weird looks. I gave them the middle finger. Well, I have to talk to you about some things. When do you want to do it? How about now? She asked. Okay, I said. Okay, class having dismissed, everyone. Professor Trivoli said, and she let everyone go. Except for you, Brittany. She pointed at Brittany and some other preps. Please do exercise, get it? 1 on page 3. Okay, I'm having lots of visions, I said in a worried voice. I'm so worried. Is Draco going to die? Well, she gave me a black crystal ball to look in. I looked at it. What do you see? She asked. I said I see a black gothic skull and a pentagram. Suddenly there was a knock on the door. I looked at it. It was Draco. He was looking really sexy wearing a... Okay, you can go now. See ya. Bye, Bish, I said, waving. I went to Draco and Vampire were sitting next to him. We both followed Draco together, and I was so exhibited. Chapter 25. Author's note. Stop flaming, okay? If you don't, then I'll tell Justin to bet you up. And I'll tell all the nerds to put in your... F you, Raven, thanks for the help. I was so excited. I followed Draco, wondering if we were going to do it again. We went outside, and then we went into Draco's black car. Ebony, what the F did Professor Trevally say? Whispered Draco, potting his gothic wet hand with black nail polish on mine. She said she would tell me what the visions meant tomorrow, I grumbled in a sexy voice. He took out a heroin cabaret and spiked it and gave it to me to sport. He started to fly the car into a tree. We went to the top of it. Draco put on some MCR. The same droll, sexy voice. We started tiling each other's clothes. He took off my black thong and my black leather bar. I took off his black boxers. Then he put his throbbing you-know-what in my tools sexily. OMFG, Draco, I screamed. We started Frenching passively. Suddenly, I fell asleep. I started having a dream. No, oh my effing god, I shouted in a scared voice. Ebony, what's wrong? Draco asked me as I woke up, opening my icy blue eyes. I started to cry and tears of blood went down my face. I told Draco to call Vampire. He did it with his black Lincoln Park mobile. But the worst thing was who the people who were shot in the dream were. Lucian and Sirius. Chapter 26. Author's note. Prep, stop flaming the story, okay? If you don't like the story, then go off yourself, you effing prep. You suck. Oh, why? And I wasn't being racist, okay? A few mutates later, Vampire came to that tree. He was wearing a... Hi, Vampire, I said flirtily as I started to sob. Draco hugged me sexily, trying to comfort me. I started to cry tears of blood and then told them what happened. Oh, F it, Vampire shouted angrily. He started to cry sadly. What effing dick did that? I don't know, I said. Now come on, we have to tell Dumbledore. He ran out of the tree and into the castle. Dumbledore was sitting in his office. Sire, our dads have been shot, Draco said while he wiped some tears from his white face. And Nobby had a vision and a dream. Dumbledore started to cockle. Ha 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 ha. And how do you expect me to know Ebony's not divisional? I glared at Dumbledore. Look, mother effer, he said angrily as Dumbledore gasped. C is the toot of Cractor? You know very well that I'm not decisional. Now get some effing people out there to look for Sirius and Lucian. Punto. Okay, he said in a imitated voice. Where are they? I thought about it. Then all of a sudden, Longdon, I said. I told him which street. He went and called some people and did some stuff. After a few mistunes, he came back and said people were going out looking for them. After a while, someone called him again. He said that they had been found. Draco, Vampire, and I all left to our rooms together. I went with Draco to wait in the nurse's office while Vampire went to snap his wrists in his room. We looked at each other's gothic depressive eyes. Then we kissed. Suddenly, Sirius and Lucian came in on stretchers, and Professor Sinister was behind them. Chapter 27. Vampires will never hurt you. Author's note. You know what? I don't give a what preps think about me, so stop flaming the fucking story, bitches. Thanks to Raven for your love and support and help. I love you, girls. Saws I didn't update. Lol, I was really depressed and my wrists. I had to go to the hospital. Raven, you rock, girl. Everyone in the room started to cry happily. I had saved them. Draco, Lucian, Sirius, Bond, Vampire all came to hug me. The nurse started to give them medicine. Come on, Anabi, said Professor Sinatra. She was wearing a... I have to tell you, you're the effing perdition? I looked at Lucian, Syrups, Drake, and Vampire. They nodded. I smelled happily and went into a dark room. I had changed Professor Sinister, took out some black cards. She'd started to look into a black crucible ball. She said, Terra, I see Drac times are near, she said badly. She peered into the balls. You see, you must go back in time. She took out a time toner like Bloody Mary had. When Voldemort was in Hogwarts before he became powerful, he got his heart broken. Now, do you think he would still become Voldemort if he was in love? I shook my head. You must go back in time and seduce him. It is the only way. If he is still evil, then you must kill him. You can come to my room tomorrow and you can do it. Okay, I said sadly. We did the touch sin. I went outside again sadly. What effing happened? Asked Draco and Vampire. Yeah, what happened? Asked Darkness, Willow, and Boldy Mary. I was about to tell them, but everyone was there. They were celebrating Lucian and Sirius being fun. Everyone was proud of me, but I just wanted to talk to Draco. They were cheesing my name, and some reporters were there trying to interview Dumbledore. A banner was put up. Lots of effing preps were there, obviously trying to be Gothic, wearing the HIM sign on their hands, despite them not having actually heard of him. Even Mr. Norris looked happy. A black and red cake had been brought out. Crab and Goik set up some fireworks in the shape of skulls from Wesley's Wizard Wises. I put on my invisibility cloak with Vampire and Draco and we sneaked outside together. Author's note, I said stop glooming the story. It was a mistake when Professor Rellery said that, okay? Go to effing hell, you suck. Thanks to Philly for the help. Raven, have fun with Kiwi. We went into a black room. The walls were black with portraits of Gothic bands like MCR, GC, and Marilyn Manson all over them. A big black coffin was in the middle. Red velvet lined the black box. There were 3 chairs made of bones with real skulls on them. I was wearing a... I sat down one of the chairs dispersely, so did Draco and Vampire. Are you okay? Vampire asked, potting his alabaster hand on mine. He was wearing... Yeah, I guess, I said sadly. Draco also put his hand on mine sexily. I smiled sadly with my black teeth. The problem is, I have to seduce Voldemort. I'll have to go back in time. Draco started to cry sadly. Vampire hugged him. It's okay, Bobby, he said finally. But what about me? You're not gonna break up or anything, are you? Of course not, I gasped. Really? He asked. Sure, I said. We Frenched sexily. Vampire looked at us longingly. Then I took off Draco's MCR shrift and seductively took off his... He was hung like a Stallone. He had replaced the vampire tattoo that said Anobi on it. Black roses were around it. I gasped. He looked exactly like Gerard Way. Vampire took a video camera. I had said it was okay before. I took off my clothes, then we were in for the ride of our life. We started Frenching as we climbed into the coffin. He put his Spock in my you-know-what, and passively we did it. I love you, Bobby. Oh, let me feel you. I need to feel you, he screamed as we watched Vampire filmed everything perfectly. Suddenly, what the F are you doing? It was Snoop and Professor McGonagall. Chapter 29. Sot das fuck up. You're just jealous cause you're prep, so fuck you. Raven, you rock girl. Thanks for the help. MCR rock 666. Oh my Satan, we screamed as we jammed out of the coffin. Snap and Professor McGonagall started to shoot at us angrily. Come now, Preacher McGonagall. We did, guiltily. We left the room putting on our clothes. Snoop garbled the caramel and put it in his pocket. Hey, what the F? Vampire shooted angrily. Yeah, Buster, what the F are you going to do with the effing camera? Draco demanded, all protective, looking at me longingly with his gothic red eyes. Look, Dumbledore knows your little secret. If you do this again, then you will go to St. Mango's. So give back the camera! Ha 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 ha. The mystery of magic thinks he is crazy. There is no way they will believe him. Snoop laughed meanly. Yeah, so shut your mouth, you insolent fools, yelled Professor McGonagall. She made us come into a weird room with white stones all around it. There were all these weird tools in it. Draco started to cry, all sexy and sexative. Get it? Cause he's a sex bomb, lol. Tom Felmont rules for life, but not as much as Gerard. Your sex on legs, I love you, fuck nog rock, marry me. I started to cry tears of blood. It happens in Vampire Chronicles, Raven said so, okay? So F you. Vampire took out a black handkerchief and started to wipe my red eyes. And then he and Snoop both took out guns using magic. They started to shoot each other angrily. None of the ballots got each other yet. I took out my wand. Crocio, I shouted. Snap stated to scram. He dropped the gun. But it was too late. Both of them had run out of ballets. I stopped the curse. Professor McGoogle did a spell so that we were all chained up. She took out a box of tools. Then she said, okay, Severus, I'm going to go now. She left. Snap started to laugh evilly. Vampire started to cry. It's okay, Anabi, said Draco. Evergreen will be all right. Remember the Sidio you took of Snake. Snape laughed again, and then he took out some whips! Chapter 30. Author's note. Stop flaming the story, okay? You know what's even gonna happen, okay? So fool you. If you flam, you will be a prep, so all flamers can kiss my ass. Saying Alzheimer's is dangerous, but that's the mysterious opinion, cause society basically sucks. Thanks to Raven, you rock, bish. No, we screamed sadly. Snap stated loafing meanly. He took out a camera angrily. Then he came towards Darko. He took some stones out of his pocket. He put the stones around Draco and lit a candle. What the F are you doing? I shooted angrily. Snoop laughed meanly. He pulled down his pants. I gasped. There was a dark mark on his you-know-what. He waved his wand and a knife came. He gave the knife to me. You must stab Rompire, he said to me. If you don't, then I'll... No, you effing bastard, I yielded. But then Draco looked at me sadly with his evil gothic red eyes that looked so depressant and sexy. He looked exactly like a pentagram. Lol, get it? Because I'm a Satanist? Between Kurt Cobain and Gerard. But then I looked at Vampire and he looked so smexy too with his gothic black hair. I thought of the time when we screwed, and then the time I did it with Draco and Dumbledore came in, and the time where Draco almost committed suicide and Vampire was so sportive. Snipe laughed angrily. He started to pray to Voldemort. He started to do an incapacitation dancing around the Stokes, whipping Draco and Vampire. Suddenly an idea I had. I closed my eyes and using my vampire powers, I sent a telepathy to Draco and Vampire so they would destruct Snape. Dumbledore will get you, Draco shooted. Yeah, just wait until the mystery find out, Vampire yelled. Meanwhile, I took out my wand. You ridiculous Donderhead, Snoop yielded. He took off Draco's clothes. Just as he was about to... Crucio, I shouted, pointing my wound. Snoop screamed and started running around the room, screaming. Meanwhile, I grabbed my black mobile and sent a text to Sirius. I stopped doing Crucio. You dunderhead, I'm going to kill, shooted Snape, but suddenly Severus. Snake put the whip behind his back. Oh, hello, Sev, I was just teaching them something, he lied, but suddenly Lucian and Professor Trevally came into the room and they and Sirius unlocked the chains and put them around Snap. Then Professor Trevally said, come on, Ebony, let's go. Chapter 31. I said, shut the F up, you queeps. Stop killing Ebony and Mary Sue, okay? You don't even know what's going to happen, okay? So F you. Thanks to my BFF Raven for help. I always knew you were on Voldemort's side, you son of a bitka. Buffy rocks, Sirius said to Snape. No, I'm not. I was teaching them something, Snap clammed. Oh, effing yeah? I took some black okay out of my pocket and gave it to Severus. He made Snap drink it. He did angrily. Then Lucius took out a tape recorder and started playing it while he did curses on Snap. Then Professor Sinister and Lucian made us get out with them while Snape told his secrets. Lucian took Vampire and Draco to the nurse after thanking me a million times. Professor Trevally took me to a dark room. Now I was going to go back in time to seduce Voldemort. Moving posters of MCR and Nirvana were all over. Hermione Darkness and Willow came too. Bloody Mary gave me a black bag from Tonrid's store. What's in the bag? I asked Professor Trevally. You will see, she said. I opened the bag. In it was a sexy... You look so effing kawaii, bish, Bloody Mary said. Thanks, I said. Okay, now you're going to get back in Tim. said Professor Sinister. You will have to do it in a few sessions. She gave me a black gun. I put it in a strap on my fishnets, like in Red Isn't That Evil. Then she gave me a black time tuner. After an hour, use the time tuner to go back here, Professor Trivoli said. Then she and Bloody Mary put a pensive in front of me. Everyone went in front of it. Good luck, everyone shooted. Darkness and Willow gave me Death Touch Sin. Then I jumped sexily into the pensive. Suddenly I was in front of to school. In front of me was one of the sexiest goth guys I'd ever seen. He was wearing... It was Tom Bombadil! Chapter 32. Author's note. I said stop flaming. I know his name isn't Tom Bodil. That was a mistake. If you don't like the story, then you can go screw yourself. You suck! Hi, I said flirtily. I am Anabi Wade, the new student. I shocked my pale hands with their black nail polish with him. The name's Tom, he said, but you can call me Satan. That's my middle name. We shook hands. Well, come on, we have to go upstairs, Satan said. I followed him. Hey Satan, do you happen to be a fan of Grande? Since MCR and Evanescence don't exist yet, then, I asked. Oh my effing god, how did you know? Satan gasped. Actually, I like GC a lot too. Get it? Cause GC did that song I Just Wanna Live that sounded really 80s? OMG, me too, I replied happily. Guess what? They have a concert in Hogsmeade, Satan whispered. Hogsmeade? I asked. Yeah, that's what they used to call it in these times before it became Hogsmeade in 2000. He told me all secretively. And there's a really cool shop called Hot Topic, I finished, happy again. He frowned confusedly. No, it's called Hot Shoe. He smiled secretively again. Then in 1998, they changed it to Hot Topic, he moaned. Oh, now everything was making sense for me. So is Dumbledore your prince pill? I shouted. Uh-huh, he looked at his black nails. I'm in Slytherin. OMFG, me too, I shrieked. You go to this school? Get it, cause I'm gothic? He asked. Yeah, that's why I'm here. I knew. I smelled happily. Suddenly, Dumbledore flew in on his broomstick and started shredding at us angrily. No talking in the halls. He had short blonde hair and was wearing a polo shirt from American Oogle Outfitters. Stupid goths! Satan rolled his eyes. He's so mean to us goths and punks just because we're in Slytherin and we're not preps. I turned around angrily. Actually, I think maybe it's because you're the Bark Lord. What the F? He asked angrily. Oh, nothing, I said sweetly. Then suddenly, the floor opened. OMFG, I screamed as I fell down. Everyone looked at me weirdly. Hey, where are you going? Satan asked as I fell. I got out of the hole and it was back in the pensive in Professor Trivoli's classroom. Dumbledore was there. Dumbledore, I think I just met you, I said. Oh yeah, I remember that, Dumbledore said, trying to be all gothic. Sinister came in. Hey, this is my classroom. Wait, what the F? Anabi, what the hell are you doing? I looked at her. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. What the hell? How? I screamed, forgetting she was a teacher for a second, but she's a goth, so it's okay. Slam! Professor Sinister looked sad. I was drinking Voldemort serum and started to cry black tears of depression. Dumbledore didn't know about them. Hey, are you crying tears of blood? He asked curiously, touching a tear. F off, we both said, and Dumbledore took his hand away. Professor Sinister started crying again in her chair, sobbing limpid tears. Oh, MFG Anabi, I think I'm addicted to Voldemort serum. Author's note, see you fucking preps, go fuck yourselves, that's serious issues, go to hell. Chapter 33, author's note, I said shut up, it's not my fault, okay, if you don't like the story, then you're a prep, so F you flamers. Please, I'm not updating until you give me 5 God reviews, and this time I mean it. You suck. Thanks, Raven, for the help. I'll promise to help you with your story, lols. 5 seconds! Oh my effing god, I shooted sadly. Should we get you to Saint Manga's, bitch? Hell no, she said. Listen, Agagi, I need your help. Next time you go back in time, do you think you could ask Tom Anderson for some help? Sure, I said sadly. I went outside the door. Draco was there. He was wearing a... Hey, sexy, I said. How'd it go, Anabi? He asked, and his voice was so sexy and low, kind of like Gerard Way when he's talking. Fine, I responded. We started to go back into the dorm. How far did you go with Satan? Draco asked jealously. Not too far, lol, I borked. Will you have to do it with him? Draco asked angstily. I hope not too far, I shouted angrily. Then I felt bad for shooting at him. I said sorry. In French. What happened to Snipe? I growled. You will see, Draco giggled mischievously. He opened a door. Snap and Lupin was there. Sirius was poking them by staging them with a black knife. No, please, Lupin begged as Sirius started to suck his blood. I laughed statistically. I talked some photons of him and Snap being torqued. Okay, I know this is men, but think about it, people. They are pedos and Snap. We took some of Snipe's blood, then Draco and I went back to our rooms. We started to mac out like in The Grudge. He pot his wetness in my you-know-what sexily. I couldn't orgy. Oh, Draco! Oh, me effing god, Draco! I screamed passively as he got an eructation. I love you, Taburi, he whispered sexily, and then we fell asleep, lol. Chapter 34, author's note. Shut the F up, preps! Have you even read the story? You are probably all just preps and posers, so F you. Thanks to Raven for the help. I woke up in the coffin the next day. Suddenly, Sorius knocked on the door. I opened it. Hi, Ibony, he said. Guess what? You have to come to Professor Sinistor's office. Okay, I said in a depressed voice. I had wanted to F Draco or maybe listen to MCR or Evanescence. I came anyway. So what the F happened to Snipe and Lupin? I asked Sorius flurily. I effing tortured them, he answered in a statistic way. They are in Azkaban now. Lol. I laughed evilly. Where are Draco and Vampira? I muttered. They are cruised from school for the day. Sodomized sex. Right now they are watching The Nightmare Before Christmas. We went into the office. Professor Sinister was there. She took out the pensieve and the time torner. Anabi, you will have to do another session now. Also, I need you to get me the cure for being addicted, she said sadly. Good luck, thanks. And then I jumped into the pensieve again. Suddenly looked around. I was in the Great Hall eating Count Chorkula. It was morning. I was sitting next to Satan. On a table was a tall gothic man with... I noticed he was drinking a parton. Who's he? I asked. Oh, that's Professor Slutborn, Satan said. He's the Portents teacher. Ebony? Yeah, I asked. Did you know that Marilyn Manson is playing in Hogsmeade tonight? And they are showing The Exorcise at the movies before that. Yeah? Well, want to go to the Contort and the movie with me? Chapter 35. Ghost of You. Thanks to Susie for the idea. You rock. F off, preps. Thanks to Raven for the help. You rock, girl. One Piece, I'm going to end the story really soon, so F you. Oh yeah, and if you know any gothic names, please tell me. I need ones for serious. I went into the common room thinking of Satan. Suddenly I gasped. Draco was there. I grasped. He looked as hot as ever, wearing... Draco, what the F are you doing? I gasped. Huh? He asked. Then I remembered. It wasn't Draco. It was Lucien. He still had 2 arms. Oh, hi, Lucien, I said. I'm Ebony, the new student. Lol, we shook hands. Yeah, Satan told me about you, Lucien said. He pointed to a group of sexy gothic guys. They were sitting in a corner cutting. It was Surius, Vampire's dad, and snap! All of them were wearing black eyeliner and black good Charlotte band shirts. Listen, I'm in a goth band with those guys, he said. We're playing tonight at the Marilyn Mason show as backup. Orly? I asked. Yeah, he said. We're called Black Tur. I play the gutter. Spartacus plays the drums, he said, pointing to him. Snap plays the bass, and James plays the guitar, even though we call him Samara, after Samara in the ring. Hey, bastards, I told them. They gave me Dut's touch skin. Suddenly, I gasped again. But don't you have a lead singer? I asked. Lucien looked down sadly. We used to, but she contempted by squeezing her wrists. Oh my effing god, that's so effing sad, I gasped. Well, I said I'm in a band myself. Really? Asked Snap. I couldn't believe it. He used to be gothic. Yeah, we're called Bloody Gothic Rose 666. Do you want to hear me sing? Yeah, said everyone. So the guys took out their guitars. They began to play a song by, get it, cause by guys are so sexy, Gurnday. I don't own the lyrics to that song. Everyone gasped. Anabi, will you join the band, please? Begged Lucian, Samaro, Sirius, and Snap. Okay, I shrugged. Are we going to play tonight? Yeah, they said. Okay, I said, but I knew that I had to get a new outfit. I walked outside wondering how I could go forward in time. Suddenly someone jumped in front of me. It was Morty McFly! He was wearing a... What the hell are you doing here? I asked. I will help you go forward in time, Anabi, he said seriously. Then, he took out a black time machine. I went into it and suddenly, I was forward in time! Author's note, I said stop flaming, okay? I bet you are all probably old 70-year-old. P.S. Porter says you're a prep. Oh yeah, and thanks to Raven for the help. Have fun in England, girl. 5 seconds! I looked around in a depressed way. Suddenly I saw Professor Sinister, Bloody Mary, Socrates, and Draco, Vampire, and Bro were there too. OMFG Sorius, I saw you and Samaro and Snip and everyone. I can't believe Snap used to be Graphic. Yeah, I know, Sirius said sadly. Oh, hey there, Bish, Professor Trevally said in an emo voice, drinking some. Hi, Effer, I said. Listen, Satan asked me out to a gothic cornet and a movie, so I need a sexa new outfit for the date. Also, I'm playing in a gothic band, so I need an outfit for that too. Oh, my Satan, get it, lol, cause she's gothic, gasped Bloody Mary. Want to go to Hot Topic to shop for your outfit? OMFS, let's have a group session, said Professor Trevally. I can't effing wait for that, but we need to get some stuff first, said Willow. Yeah, we need some portions for Professor Trevally so she won't be addicted to anymore, and also some love potion for Anabi, Darko said, resultantly. Well, we have potions class now, Willow said, so let's go. We went sexily to potions class, but Snap wasn't there. Instead, there was Cornelia. Hey, where the F is Dumbledore? Draco shouted angrily. Shut the F up, shooted Cornelia F. He is in Azkaban now, with Snip and Lupin. He is old and weak. He has... Now, do your work. My friends and I talked unruly. Can you believe Snap used to be gothic? Vampire asked surprisingly. That's it, Cornelia shouted. I'm getting Professor Bridge. She stomped out angrily. My friends and I began talking again. I began to drink some blood mixed with beer. Suddenly I saw a Hagrid in the cupboard. What the F is he doing? I asked. Then I looked at Draco. He was wearing tons of eyeliner and he looked sexier than ever. Suddenly, Hargiv, what the F are you doing? He shooted. I looked around. Hagrid was putting something in my glass of blood. Darko and Vampire started to beat him up sexily. God, you are such a poser, I shooted at Hagrid. Suddenly I looked at what he was putting in the blood. It was amnesia portion! Chapter 37, author's note. Okay, everybody, I'm gone on vacation on the 1st of July, so I'm either gonna end the fic or update it in weeks. Thanks, oh yeah, and prep stop flaming the story. Raven thanks for the help, see a girl alpha vocation. 5 seconds! Darko's point of view. Vampire and I chained Hagrid to the floor. Oh me effing Satan, Anabi said. She was so hot. Maybe I could use amnesia potion to make Satan fall in love with me faster. But you're so sexy and wonderful anyway, Tata, said Vampire. Why would you need it? To make everything go faster, lol, said Anabi. But you don't have to do it with him or anything, do you? I asked jealously. OMFG, you guys are so scary, said Brittany, a effing prep. Shut the F up, said Willow. Okay, well anyway, let's go to Professor Trevalli's room. Draco, Aborni, and I went to Professor Sinister's room. But Professor Sinister wasn't there. Instead, Tom Ridd was. Oh, hi, Effers, he said. Listen, I got Sue some cool new clothes. OMG, thanks, I said, hugging him in a gothic way. I took the clothes in the bag. Okay, Professor Sinister isn't her. What the F should we do? Asked Draco. Suddenly he looked at a sign on the black wall. Oh my effing Satan, I screamed as I read it. On it said, everyone, Professor Sinister is away. She is too gothic. She is in Azkaban now. Class shall be taught by Dumbledore, who is back, but he will not be principal now. Sincerely, Professor Rumbridge. OMFG, I shouted angrily. How could they do that? Who the hell are you dong in my office? He began to shout angrily. Suddenly, I saw Morty McFly's black time machine. I jumped seductively into it, leaving Draco and Vampire. Suddenly, I was back in time. I looked around. It was Professor Slutborn's FS. I sneaked around. Suddenly, I saw the amnesia potion on his desk. It was black with blood red pentagrams in it. It was the shape of a cross. I put it in my pocket. Suddenly, the door opened. It was Professor Slutgorn. OMG, what are you doing, Fuker? He shouted angrily. I don't know what the F you are doing, I shouted angrily. Oh, sorry, I was just looking around because I thought it was class, you said, finally coping he couldn't see the potion in your pocket. Oh, okay, you can go now, said Professor Slutborn. You went to the common room after putting on my clothes. Silas, Samaro, and Snap were there practicing Vampires Will Never Hurt You by MCR. Oh, hi, you guys, I said seductively. Where's Satan? Oh, he's coming, said Sirius. By the way, you can call me Hades now. Suddenly Satan came. He was wearing a... Okay, I will see you guys at the concert, I said, and then I went with Satan. Chapter 38, Author's Note. What does everyone think if I end a story and then I add some more to it after vocation? Oh yeah, and prep stop flaming if you don't like story, then take my quiz, okay? Then you will see if you're gothic or not. 5 seconds! Satan and I walked to his car. It was a black car with pentagrams all over it. On the license plate said 666, just like Draco's car. I went in it seductively. Stan started to drive it. We talked about Satanism. Lols, he was named after Satan. Cutting, music, and being gothic. Oh, my Satan, Gerard is so effing hot, Volta agreed as we smoked some weed. Cause bi guys are hot, they are so sensitive, I love them, lol, goes F a bi guy. Lol, I totally decided not to commit when I heard Helena, I said in a flirty voice. Hey Satan, do you know the cure for when people are addicted to Voldemort serum? Well, he thought, I think you have to drink vampire blood. Suddenly, Voldemort parked the car behind a black movie theater. Satan and I walked inside. We went into the movie together and they were showing The Exorcist. In it, a boy and girl were doing it. Suddenly a serial killer came, lol. Satan and I laughed at the blood cause we're sadists. While Satan was watching the movie, I had an idea. I took Satan's gothic Black Nightmare Before Christmas cigar sexily from his pocket and put some amnesia potion in it. I put it back in his black Emil the Strange bag. Satan turned around and started to smoke it. Black clouds with red pentagrams and started to fly around everywhere. OMG, Satan said, jumping up. I gasped cause I was afraid he's noticed. Anabi, guess what? I knew that the amnesia potion had worked. Amnesia potion has not been invented yet, so it will not work, he said. Too bad, cause I wanted to use some on you. Cool, I raised my eye suggestively. And then he took off my cloak sexily and we started to make out. I took off his shit. He had six-pack just like Gerard Way. We Frenched. Excuse me, but you're going to have to leave, shooted the lady behind us. She was a prep. F you, I said. Suddenly, I attacked her, sucking all her blood. No, she screamed. All the preps in the theater screamed, but everyone else cried. Satan and I looked so cute together. Satan and I started to walk outside. ZOMG, how did you do that? Voldemort asked in a turned-on voice. I'm a vampire, I said as he went into the car. Seriously? He gasped. Yeah, seriously, I said, drinking some beer. Satan started to drive the car. I smelled. It's too bad we didn't get to see the rest of the movie, don't you think? Yeah, I said as we kissed passively. Satan parked in a black driveway next to the place where Draco and I watched GC for the first time. We went inside where Marilyn Manson was playing and started to mosh.
Smack my ass, smack my ass,
screamed Marlon on the stage. We did the devil fingers. I started to dance really close to Satan. He was so schmexy. He looked at me all emo with his gothic red eyes, and he looked exactly like Mikey Way. I almost got an organism. Suddenly, Marilyn Mason stopped singing. I would like to pissant. Black Terror, he said. I ran on stage. Lucian, Samaro, Snap, and Hades were there. They started to play their instruments. I got on Stag. I sang, I don't own the lyrics to that song. My voice sounded like a pentagram between Amy Lee and a girl version of Gerard Way. Everyone clapped. Satan got an irritation. I'm nuts. Okay, I sang finally. Suddenly, Lucien started playing the song wrong by mistake. OMFG, yielded James. What the F? Whoops, I'm sorry, said Lucien. You effing asshole, James shouted angrily. You guys are such preps, Snap said. Come on, it was a mistake. Yeah, it's not his fault, said Sirius. No, he ruined the effing song, yelled Samuro. You guys stop, Aisha toed angrily, but it was too late. We all began to fight. Suddenly, Samaru took out his knife. OMFG, no, shouted Lukun, but it was too late. James tried to shoot off his arm. And then, I jumped sexily in front of the bullets. No, yielded everyone, but it was too late. Suddenly, everything went black.
Disclaimer. I do not own the HP series, and I am not the real XXX Bloody Wrists 666XXX. Author's note, I am an extremely immature, pathetic idiot girl, I know. Out of boredom, I cracked this girl's passy for fun, and it took less than 8 minutes to do it too, which will probably get in a shitload of trouble. Which I probably deserve, cause I'm being a troll right now. Meh. And I present to you my crappy part in this story. And take note, I haven't even finished reading this fic yet, but instead skip over to skim chapter 38. Flame, laugh, do whatever you want. Preps. I, the American retail-wearing British vampire Sue, coughed up blood. Satan kneeled down beside me. No, don't die! I gave him a rueful smile. I'm sorry. It's something I had to do to fulfill my duty as the noble Gothic Mary Sue. Satan sobbed. I love you, Ebony. I love you too. I'll see you in hell, I mumbled, already finding my surroundings fading to black. Bloody Mary Smith popped into the room for no apparent reason. She frowned when she realized the room was oddly quiet, but at the sight of Ebony's lifeless body, she screamed. Her face became pale with the horror. She screamed for the healers, Dumbledore, McGoogle, every single Gothic person she could think of. Suddenly a glow started to surround the body of Ebony. Everyone stared in shock. Her body started to lift, ever so slowly, and then to everyone's shock it started to incinerate. When everyone realized what was happening, they rushed over to try to rescue the body, but it was too late. The Sue became nothing more than a pile of ashes. A loud resounding of everyone bellowing, "No!" filled the room. A flash of white light from the ashes started to bounce around the room. Everyone cowered in fear and were temporarily blinded. When it was all over, things changed. All the silly goth clothes dropped from everyone's bodies. Author's note, I will refuse to explain how the hell that happened. And in their place, clothes the characters would normally wear in canon appeared on their bodies. When everyone got over the shock of becoming free from the Gothic power, everybody cheered. Everyone started singing, "Ding dong, the Sue is dead." Well, that is until all of the Harry Potter characters realized the true implications of becoming more canon-like again. All the characters who were supposed to be dead fell to the floor, their bodies cold and lifeless. Harry and Voldemort started dueling. On the left side of the two, the battle of the light side and the dark side were reaching a climax. And because the replacement author also likes to screw around with canon, Draco and Hermione fled the scene and got married. Meanwhile, down in hell, Ebony shared a tear because of her current situation. A situation that would live on for all eternity, or at least until the end of fanfiction time. She lost it all, but she knew she had to remain strong. Nothing would ever break her down. She looked over her pale body and frowned. "Where are my emo clothes?" she asked herself in confusion. And then it occurred to her, for her shirt. She was wearing a bright pink polo with a little seagull on the right or left, I can't remember, side. Below that, she was wearing a denim miniskirt with a destroyed look on it. Paired underneath that skirt were leggings with a little moose on the bottom. And then Ebony realized, over her shoulder, she was carrying a pretty bag with an eagle on it that said "Live Your Life" written all over it. Ebony suppressed the urge to scream. Here she was, decked out in clothes, prepped to the extreme, wearing stuff from Abercrombie and Fitch, American Eagle, and Hollister. Panicked, Ebony hastily tried to take off the Hollister polo, but underneath it, there was another Hollister polo underneath. She frowned and looked under her shirt. All she saw was a bra underneath. Dare I point out it's from the Aerie line available at American Eagle? She tried to remove the shirt again, but to her frustration, there was another polo to replace it. This is illogical and does not make any sense, Ebony bellowed out into the air. She failed to see the irony in her statement, how hypocritical her words were, seeing as she was practically calling the kettle black here. Ebony split her wrists and mumbled to herself, "Oh my god." End crap thick. Author's note, oh yeah, if you want to see the original content this chick had planned for this chapter, I accessed it through the document manager thingy, which I copied and pasted, so you can read it here. Chapter 40. The Idiot's Note. Well, this was in the dock area. Might as well let the whole world see what the real Terror wanted to show us. Have a nice day. Author's note. Shut the f up, preps, get a lift, you suck! Oh, and from now on, I'll be in vocation in England until like August, so I won't be able to update for a while, lols. Thanks to everyone who Revoy would expect da preps who flamed fuck you MCR rule 666.
I woke up in the nurse's office on a special gothic coffin. Hair Grid was in the bed opposite me in a coma because Vampire and Draco had bet him up. Mr. Norris was cleaning the room. Oh my Satan, what happened? I screamed. Suddenly Voldemort came. He looked less mean than usual. Get the F out, you effing bastard, I yielded. Thou hath not killed Vampire yet, he said angrily. Suddenly he started to cry tears of blood, all selective. Voldemort, OMFG, what's wrong? I asked. Suddenly Lucian, Professor Sinister, and Sirius came. Bloody Mary and Vampire were with them. Everyone was holding black boxes. Voldemort disappeared. OMFG, Anabi, you're alive, screamed Vampire. I hugged him and Bloody Mary. What the F happened? I asked him. Oh my Satan, am I like dead now? I gasped. Anabi, you were almost shot, said Sirius, but the ballet could not kill you since you were from another time. But fangs anyway, said Lucian, holding out his arm. I gasped. He had 2 arms! OMG, I can't believe Vampire's dad shot you, I gasped. Well, to be honest, Snap was possessed by Snap back then, said James. Yeah, he was a spy, Sirius said sadly. He was really a death dealer. And he was such a effing poser, said Lucian. He didn't even really know who GC were until I told him. Well, anyway, everyone started to give me presents. I was opening a black box with red 666s. There was a DVD of Corpse Sprite in it. Mr. Norris looked up angrily because he hated goths. Hey, has anyone fucking seen Draco? I asked gothically. No, Draco told me he would be watching Hose of Wax, said Professor Trevally. He doesn't know that better. Anyway, the Norris said he could get up. Come on! I got up immediately. Lucian, Sirius, and Professor Sinister left. I was wearing a... I left the hospital's wings with Bloody Mary, Willow, and Vampire. OMFG, let's celebrate, gasped Willow. We can go see Hose of Wax with Draco, giggled Vampire. Let's go listen to GC and cut ourselves, said Hermione. We opened the common room sexily, and then I gasped. Draco was there doing it with Snap. He was wearing a... You effing prep, we all yielded angrily. Ya betrayed us, shooted Vampire angrily as he took out his black gun. No, you don't understand, screamed Draco sadly as he took his thingy out of Snake's. No shit, you effing suck, you preppy bastard, said Willow, trying to attack him. You rock, girl. I ran to my room. I sexily took a stake out. And Nobby, no, screamed Draco, but it was too late. I had snapped my wrist with it. Suddenly, everything went black again.
Idiot's note. I know. Terrible. But then again, this wouldn't be called the worst fanfic ever if not for the fact that the writing standards meets the level of a day-old fetus. Author's note. To everyone who kept flamming Dis git sliff. I bet you probably oughtn't know who Gerard Way is. You're probably all preps and posers. Anyway, someone hacked into me account in November and they put up my last chapter, but now there is a new one. I'm sorry for not updating for a while, but I've been really busy. I'm trying to finish the story before the new movie comes out. I'm gone on vacation for a month. I won't be back until about 2 weeks. OMFG, Draco is so hot in all the pics for the new movie. I wanted them to put a cameo by Gerard Way lol. He should play Draco. If you flame all my wrists, Raven, you rock girl, have fun in England.
When I woke up, I was in a strange room. I looked around. I was wearing the same outfit I had when Is performed with Black Tear. I looked around confusedly. It was the Norse's office, but it looks different. On the wall was a pic of Marilyn Manson. Just imagine that he is in an 80s gothic band too, okay, cause he is more of an olden Panic at the disco or MCR. There was also a gothic Black Beatles calendar with a picture of the Beatles wearing eyeliner and black clothes. On it said 1980. OMFG, I'm back in Tim again! I screamed loudly. Suddenly Satan, this is actually Voldemort for photo reference. Voldemort was wearing a... He looked so sexy, I almost had an orgy. OMFG, Anabi, are you okay? He asked gothically. Yeah, I'm okay for your information, I snapped sexily. OMG, am I dead? Because I remembered I jumped in front of the bullet from James' gun. I also remembered seeing Draco doing it with Snape. I guess that when I had me wrist, I went back in time instead of dying. I know I could go forward in time if I found a time toner or the time machine. No, you're not dead, Satan reassured me as he smoked cigarettes sexily and smoke came all over his face. You're a vampire, so you can't die from a bullet. Come on now, let's go see how Harry's dad is doing. I know that the real reason I didn't die from the bullet was because I was from the future. What the F? James almost shot Lucius, I said eagerly. I knew that James had really been possessed, but I didn't want him to know I knew. Yeah, I know, but he had a headache. He was under a lot of stress, Satan reasoned evilly. I guess that's okay, I said, because James hadn't really shot Lucian. Also, I know that Lucian would now have 2 arms instead of 1. I walked seductively outside with Satan. Suddenly I saw a totally sexy gothic bi guy. He walked in all sexily like Gerard Way in the video for I Don't 3 You like I did yesterday, and you could see a black tear on his face, like the one in that video. Hey, he said all quietly and gothically. Who the F is that? I asked angrily because I did not know him. This is Hedwig, said Voldemort. He used to be in Black Tears, but he had to drop out because he broke his arm. Hey, Hedwig, I said seductively, even though I was trying not to be. Lol, hi, Anabi, he answered, but he ran away because he had hair of magical creature. He was humming Welcome to the Black Parade under his breath. I know that it's not in the 80s, but pretend it is, okay? Bye, I said all sexily. That was Hedwig. He used to be my boyfriend, but we broke up. OMFG, I can get you 2 back together, I said, fingering something I didn't know was in my pocket. A black coot is what we aimed for iPod I could take videos with. Does no one else know about them? They kick ass. Okay, you can forget about your class for now, Hedwig. I'm going to show you something great. I led them to the Great Hall. Come on, you guys. Lucian, James, Sirius, and Snape were all in the Great Hall. Lucian wouldn't talk with James because he had tried to shoot him. Go F yourself, you effing douche, she shouted at him. Draco's never going to be friends with Vampire now. Yeah, go F yourself, Samuro, Snape agreed, but I know he was lying because it had been his fault James had almost shot Lucian. Be quiet, you guys, it said sexily. Me plan was working out great. Now I could make Voldemort good without doing it with him. Now Vampire's dad would never die, and okay, Satan and Hedwig, you guys can start making out, I said, and I started to film them with the iPod. Cool, said Sirius as Voldemort and Hedwig started to make out sexily. We watched as they started to take each other's clothes off sexily. Samuro, Sirius, Snape, and Lucian all watched cause they were probably by. I know Snape was by. Oh my effing god, Voldemort, Voldemort, screamed Hedwig as his Glock tore. But suddenly everything stopped as the door opened and in came Dumbledore and Mr. Norris! Chapter 42, The Black Parade. OMG, the new book is coming out really soon. I can't wait. I think that Snap will really be the same person as Voldemort because they are both half-bloods, so that will explain why he killed Dumbledore and hated Harry. And then Harry will have to commit so Voldemort will die because he will really be a Horcrux. OMG, I hope Draco and Harry get together. That would be so sexy, won't it? If they don't, then JKR is homophobic. Thanks for the help with facts. Medusa, you rock. I sat depressedly in Dumbledore's office with Hedwig, Satan, James, Sirius, Snap, and Lucian. Dumbledore was sitting in front of us cruelly. He looked more young than he did in the future. He had taken the iPod away and was now listening to a shitty Avril Lavigne song. What the hell is this anyway? He cackled meanly. I hoped he didn't find out that I was from another time. Whatever you do, don't blame Ibony, you jerk, Satan said. Yeah, seriously, she was trying to get Satan and Hedwig back together, Sirius said deviantly. Be quiet, you Satanist, Dumbledore cockled. If you're lucky, I'll probably send you all to Azkaban. That will teach you to copulate in the Great Hall. He changed the song on the iPad to an NSYNC song. Suddenly, I noticed something strong about the iPod. It was slowly changing. Dumbledore didn't notice. You effing poser, I muttered. I bet you've never heard of GC, James said. No, I knew what the iPod was changing into, Morty McFly's hymn machine. Shut up, Jones, Draco's dad shouted. Yeah, shut up, Snape said preppily. No, you shut up, Dumbledore, said Tom. I've had enough of you Satanists in my schools, shouted Dumbledore spuriously. Suddenly I grabbed the iPod from him. Everyone jump in before it's too late. I jumped into it, but only one other person jumped in. It was Satan! You dunderhead, screamed Dumbledore wisely as we went. I looked around. I was in the Slytherin common room with Satan. Hey, cool, where's this? He asked in an emo voice. This is the future. Dumbledore's iPod that he tried to take away from me was really also a tin machine, I told him. Cool, what's an iPad? He whimpered. It's something you use to listen to music, I yacked. OMFG, cool. Wait, what's a 4-letter word for dirt? He asked in his sexy voice. I guess sand? I laid confusedly. Yeah, I was just trying to make sure you were still the same person, he triumphantly giggled. Suddenly, some of my friends walked in. OMG, you're effing alive, said Jenny, wearing a... I explained to her why I was alive. Konnichiwa, bitch, said Willow. Hey, mother effer, said Diablo with his red hair. Hey, who's that, Ibony? Bloody Mary questioned. Oh, it's Satan, I told her, and she nodded, knowing the truth. Suddenly, Satan started to cry. Are you okay, Satan? He asked concernedly. OMFG, you're from the future. What if you don't like me anymore because we're from different times? He asked. No, I still like you, I said sexily to him. Okay, he said reassuredly. Let him listen to Teenagers by MCR on my iPod while I was about to go outside to find some things. I gave Diablo a signal to keep Satan occupied. Satan fell asleep. I took the iPod. I was about to walk outside. Oh my effing god, where's Draco? How did Snap get back here? I thought he was an Azkaban, I asked sadly. Ebony, I'm so worried about you, but I know you can't effing die because you're a vampire. Snape came back because that girl, Brittany, freed him. I never liked her. She was a bad student, Trelawney said reassuringly. That bitch! Did she also free Hagrid and Lupin? I shouted angrily. I hated Brittany because she was effing crap. Yes, they are on the loose at this school. Dumbledore's back. Cornelia's on his way to help everyone. Tell everyone you see to lock themselves in their common room. Charlie said boredly. Okay, but where's Draco? How come he was doing it with Snap? I don't know why, but he almost tried to commit suicide after he saw you almost kill yourself, she said. OMG, that's terrible, I gasped. Satan was still asleep, so he couldn't tell what was going on. Then I said, listen everyone, I have something important to do. And here, everyone stay. With that, I ran out. Good luck, Tara, everyone cried. I ran sexily down the stairs in the great hall where the portraits looked at me scaredly. There was hardly anyone else in the stairs, and there was an atmosphere of horror. On the way, I saw Brittany out on the stairs. She was wearing a... You effing bitch! I shouted angrily. No, you're totally a bitch. Now Voldemort will, totally kill you, she laughed. Crucius, I shouted selectively. haunted by my black wand, and she started screaming because she was being tortured. I laughed sadistically. No, help me, please, Brittany screamed terrifiedly. I put up my middle finger at her. In her hand, I saw the video camera Snape and Lupin had used to take the video of me. I put the tape of Voldemort doing it with Hedwig onto it. Then I continued to round down the stairs with the camera. When I reached the Great Hall, I saw Vampire Potter. OMG, Vampira, I yelled. We hugged each other happily. I was so worried you died, moaned Vampire. I know, but I'm a vampire, lol. When I woke up, I was back in 1980. So anyway, I brought Voldemort from when he was young with me. Where's Draco? I asked sparsely. Draco? You mean that effing poser who betrayed you? The vampire snarled with angry, sexy voice. I know, but we have to find him, I said, smarty. I'll do it then, Harry said angstily. Okay, I agreed. Suddenly, all the lights in the room went out, and then the Dark Mark appeared. Oh my effing Satan, Harry shouted. I think Voldemort has arrived, I said anxiously. F, I have to find Draco. I guess we should separate. Okay, Vampire said, dapperating. Sadly, I ran into the Great Hall. Chapter 43. I think after this, I will have about 2 or 3 more chapters. Thanks to all my revolvers, not dust flamers. If you flamed, then this story. You suck. If you flamed, then f*** you. I walked sexily into the Great Hall. It was empty except for one person. Draco was there. He sat there in deadly gloom. Draco, are you okay? I asked. I'm not okay, he screamed depressedly. I thought of the MCR song and I got even more depressed because that song always makes me cry. I gave him a pot cigarette and he started to smoke it. Oh, Draco, why did you do it with that effing bastard Snape? I said tearfully. Draco began to say, but suddenly, Lupin and Mr. Norris operated in the room. They didn't see us. I'm so glad me and Snape were freed, said Lupin. Damn, this job would be great if it wasn't for the effing students, Mr. Norris agreed. Papadella, I yelled angrily, pointing my wand at them. No, Lupin shouted as chains came on him. Mr. Norris ran away. You effing perv, I laughed with depths of evil and depressedness in my voice. Now you have to tell us where Voldemort is or I'm going to torture you. I don't know where he is, said Lupin. Suddenly Satan and Vampire ran into the room. Vampire didn't know who Satan was, really. Oh my Satan, we were so worried about you guys, Vampire said. I looked sexily at Draco with his gothic red eyes, with contacts. I selectively took the caramel from my pocket, and then I began Frenching Draco sexily. Lupin gasped. Draco began to take all his clothes off, and I could see his white six-pack. Then Vampire took his own clothes off too. We all began making out together sexily. I took off my black leather ball, my black lace thong, and the rest of my clothes. Everyone took their glocks out, except for me. I'm a girl, lol. Oh my Satan, Draco, I screamed as he put his hardness in my thingy. Then he did the same thing to Harry. I began making out with Satan and he joined in. OMS, cried Vampire. Oh, Vampire, Vampire, I screamed. Oh, Satan, yelled Harry in pleasure. Lupin watched in shock. We took turns doing a big black car that said 666 on the license plate flew straight in through the windows, and Snap was in it. Chapter 44. Well, I have nothing to say, but everyone stop glamming, okay? If any gothic people are reading this, then okay. OMG, I still can't wait for the movie. Tom Felton is so hot. Lol, I hope Harry will become gothic because me friend told me he is really emo in this book. OMFG, I'm leaving due pretty soon. Can't wait. This will probably be the last chapter until I come back. That's me car, shouted Draco angrily, but suddenly it was revealed who was in the car. It was Snape. I shall free you, Lupin, but first you must help me kill these idiotic Donderheads, he said coolly from the car as it flew circumambulating above us. Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way must be killed, then the Dark Lord will never die. You effing prep, yelled Draco. Then he looked at me sadly. I forgot to tell you, Ebony, Snape made me do it with him. I didn't really have S with him, but he's a ropist. We all put our clothes on quickly, except Satan. We were all so scared, but Satan didn't change. Instead, he changed into a man with green eyes, no nose, a gray robe, and white skin. He had changed into Voldemort. I knew who thou were all along, he cackled evilly and sarcastically at me. Now I shall kill thee all. Thunder came in the room. No, please don't kill us, pleaded Vampire. Suddenly, Willow, Bloody Mary, Diablo, Ginny, Dracula, Fred and Gorg, Hagrid, McGonagall, Dumbledore, Sirius, and Lucian all ran in. What is the meaning of this? Dumbledore asked all angrily, and Voldemort looked away because Dumbledore is the only wizard he is scared of. He did a spell, and suddenly his broomstick came to him sexily. Voldemort flew above the roof evilly on his broomstick. Oh my god, Slugborn gasped. Get it, because I'm gothic. The Dark Lord shall kill all of you. I know a 4-letter word for dirt. Cruciatus, screamed Harry, but the sparks from his wand only hit Draco's car. It fell down. Snap quickly crawled out of it and picked up the video camera. Oh my effing god, I cried because the video of me in the bathroom, the video of me doing it with Draco, and the video of Satan doing it with... If you kill me, then these videos will be shown to everyone in the school. Then you can be just like that gothic girl, Paris Hilton. He laughed meanly. No, I screamed. FYI, I have the picture of you doing it with Lupin. What's she talking about? Lupin slurped as he sat in chains. I saw too. She's gonna show everyone that picture. Harry shouted angrily. Shut up, Lumpkin roared. Foolish Igor Mooses yielded Voldemort from his broomstick. Thou shalt all die soon. Think again, you effing muggle poser, Harry yelled, and then he and Diablo and Neville took out black guns, but Voldemort took out his own one. You guys are in a Latin standoff, I shouted despairingly. Accio, Neville's wand, cried Voldemort, and suddenly Neville's wand was in his hands. Now I shall kill thee all, and everyone will die. He made lightning come all over the place. Save us, Ebony, Dumbledore cried. I cried sexily. I just wanted to go to the common room and snap my wrist with me friends while we watched Shark Attack 3 and Saw and do it with Draco, but I knew I had to do something more important. Abracadabra!